here under different circumstances, but, I told the fellas, I'm like, we battled. They're a good football team, and we made one too many mistakes, and, we just kept on battling back. But they went to the, +1 run game with the quarterback a bunch in the second half. It was really effective for them. And they just made enough plays in the air, just enough. So, I don't know what happened on that big touch. I haven't seen it on tape yet. We're scrambling to figure out if they're gonna go for 1 or 2 and those kind of things. And offensively, I thought we did a pretty good job moving the ball down. I wish I'd had one more timeout left, but we, just didn't feel good about a play in the third quarter, and so we banged that timeout, which, sometimes those things happen. You just wish you had that one back, though. But, really good football team that, we're gonna be in a lot of 50-50 games, and that's just one of the 50-50 games. Talk at the end about, running the clock down, yeah, but, we had a chance to take a shot. We knew what we could get them in. We loved the matchup that we were gonna get. And, they had timeouts on the board. We weren't gonna take a knee, and, see how many times we could possibly fumble the ball. And so it's just those things where it sounds a lot better than it really is. You just gotta put the ball in the end zone eventually. And so that was a decision. Tyler and I talked about it. We obviously went for the go route, trying to get the ball. Like I said, we thought we were going to get the matchup we wanted into the boundary, and we did. I went through a great ball. K-Way made a great play. But again, they made one more play than we did, and that's credit to them. So, questions?
Coach, you were able to answer throughout that second half every charge Navy made. Does this make it a little bit more, shall we say, frustrating or something?
Well, yeah, no, I look the product we put on the field last week in the first half, and then I look at the product we put in the second half in this game, and played a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of intensity. Got down quick in the first quarter, 7-0, and we didn't, miss the field goal, which Carl rarely misses, and we didn't panic and kept on playing. So, a lot of positives, a lot of positives. But again, I think it's a game that we walked off that field and we gave away at the end. So,
time of possession seemed to be a big theme.
Yeah, early we had it. Yeah.
How important was it for you to keep your offense on the field and keep your defense off the field, trying to keep them fresh?
I thought Todd did a real good job with that. Not just putting Brian Smith and the defense back out there. There's, some people worry about scoring points. Some people worry about scoring points and also trying to take care of our defense. I think that's what we were trying to do. We did a pretty good job of it. Early on, we did a great job with time of possession, kind of chewed the clock down, and try to keep the defense a little fresher. They can wear you down now with that offense. So, yeah, like I said, I thought the offense did some really good things. The defense did too. We had some great stops. It's just, it's a couple explosive plays, which we've limited dramatically. It's just it came back to haunt us, in this one.
So you talked about the play to K-Way. Right after that, you're on the 1 yard line,
Yeah.
and they have 2 timeouts, and you're first down.
So, does it make sense for us to try to take a knee on the half? You're playing with fire, and we're not great where we just line up and just knock you off the ball for a yard. So there's no guarantee we're going to get it in. So you put the ball in the end zone. It's and Tyler and I talked about it, and like I said, we were uncomfortable trying to take a knee, 2 times to take away their timeouts. So it wasn't like I could get the clock to run. It was taking away a couple timeouts. So that was a decision.
You guys came out with a lot of energy today, and in comparison to the rest of the games, what do you attribute that to?
Well, I think the talk we had at halftime last week, where we said that that's not the product we can put on the field, and also think there was a little bit of a confidence issue maybe after getting beaten up by Oklahoma and Georgia Tech, and I think we figured that out when we played pretty well second half of the UTSA game, and I think it carried on into this game. So I don't think confidence is a problem anymore. I mean, I'm hoping they feel like we went toe to toe with an undefeated Navy team today that could have been should have, but we were right there. So.
After Borgat scored, did you guys, was it ever in your mind that they were gonna go for two, or as a coach, are you just prepared for anything?
Well, no, we were, I think originally they were saying that they were gonna put out the extra point team, and then I told Brian Smith, I said, have your defense ready to go, because they might just decide, hey, we're on the road, let's go for two, we kinda got some momentum going right now, and so, I think that was the thought process. So, and I thought about calling timeout, we would just wish we had a couple timeouts. Tyler did a really nice job of moving the ball down there at the end. We get to the 40-yard line, go try to kick one, because Carl's a really strong leg, and I've seen him hit one from 60 already. So.
You used the second timeout right before the kids' 48-yard field goal attempt, or what were you worried about there?
I forget. So I know we used one on offense because again we just didn't like the play call and we discussed there. I'm not sure.
The second one was right before the kid lined up for the 48-yard field goal, and which he made you call the timeout.
Yeah. So I think we had some issues with. We thought they were going to go for it, and so they went for the field goal, and so we didn't really feel great. Oh, one of our guys' helmets came off, and he's on the field goal block team, and all of a sudden he couldn't go back in. And also we had a numbers issue, and so that's why. And so the timeout, he could go back in, but we weren't using the timeout to put him in there necessarily. But when you ran him all out, he couldn't go out because of the helmet coming off. So that's why there was some confusion why someone who normally wouldn't be out there had to go out there because we had the helmet situation during a special teams play. During an offensive play or defensive play, it's simple. But on a special teams play where there's a special group that's going to go block that thing, and he's a big part of that. That's when we have the confusion.
Coach, you said that you were like a little bit uncomfortable taking those two.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing we've practiced, and again, if you look at us, we're not just going to knock you off the ball. That's not who we are. I mean, there has to be some schematic stuff. So, there was no guarantee that we were going to, and then again, we took that shot. And I thought it was a good move, and we got it down there. We weren't going to mess around. So we all can second guess it. I had this exact same thing with Cam Ward. I had Cam Ward in a situation, and I almost lived to regret it. We fortunately got the ball down, on fourth down in the end zone in a playoff game when Cam Ward was at Incarnate Word. So I know the pluses and the minuses, but boy, there's a lot of danger in taking those snaps and trying to take a knee and. See a lot of balls squirt out. So I think our thought was let's get the ball in the end zone. It's not like they have a sophisticated passing game where we felt that they could just pick us apart down the field. The passing game's kind of elementary, and so we felt it was going to be our advantage. And then again they busted the big run, which killed us obviously. So
what about on your end? You guys uncomfortable with
okay.
Like on your point, what were you guys uncomfortable with in doing not taking it?
Yeah, so again, so many times you snap the ball, they knock you back. I mean, this isn't taking knee at the end of a game because you're up by 40. This is still real football taking place. And so all of a sudden, guys are getting jacked back into your quarterback. And I've seen too many balls squirt out. And so the decision was like, we're not great at just running the ball at you. If we get it in the first time, we get it in the first time. But again, it was different than, okay, they have no timeouts. Let's just take this thing down. This was like, they can bang some timeouts, and we're gonna be taking knee, and now we're gonna put ourselves in a situation where if we don't get in, we're gonna be, trying to hit the field goal. So we just felt that, let's get the ball in the end zone. And again, you can second guess it. That's easy because it didn't work. But I think our mindset was they don't have a sophisticated passing game. Let's go play defense. And we had a penalty. On a ball we kind of panicked on, was kind of overthrown, and then again they busted the big run, which killed us. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's easy to second guess that play because it didn't work. I get it. I mean, I get it.
Did you
Last
anticipate
couple,
that,
Cody?
did you anticipate when they came out in the second half that they were gonna say, we're not gonna get too cute anymore? Cause they were in so many like.
Yeah.
They got themselves in more second and manageable situations in the second half. In the first half, it was a lot of second and longs and stuff like that. That was a huge difference.
Yeah, no question. I thought, they were gonna eventually get back to just their fundamentals, because I think they did get a little cute that first half, and they actually put themselves in second and long a number of times, which was, a big benefit for us. That's really when we stopped them. We stopped them when they got cute and they got second and longs. But, that second half, I think they came out and said, hey, let's get the quarterback in the run game. Let's get the +1 run game going. And they did, and they were pretty tough.
What did you say to the guys just now? There's that old saying, it's like you don't let this game cost you the next game.
Yeah, I just said we have a game next week. We're gonna let this one sit for 24 hours. We're gonna be in a lot of 50-50 games. This was one of those 50-50 games. You can look each other in the eye and know we battled to the end. When we look at the film, there's gonna be some mistakes. We're gonna go, wow, we wish we would have had that one back. But that's the nature of football. And I said, don't worry about, like I said, everyone's gonna second guess, like, could we have done this, could we have done that? It's football. Yeah, we all can second guess. We're in a city that they're thinking about firing the manager of the Phillies, who just won 2 championships. That's the world we live in, That's the world we live in. They won 2 National League championships. We're thinking about firing them. That's the world we live in. So, I get it, but, in terms of the players, yeah, I was really proud, battled, didn't panic. When they went down 7 right away, it's like, ooh. The reason we took the ball, we wanted the ball, was let's see if we can get the ball in the end zone, or see if we get some points to start off, get things positive for us. And then we missed the field goal, and they drove right down, exact opposite of what we wanted. And, we give them that quick lead, and our guys settled in, and we, again, I think combination of us playing some good defense and also them getting a little cute. Once they decided to get downhill, I thought they were a better football team.
Carter was listed as like questionable. Was he okay? I mean, obviously he was out there kicking, but like,
Yeah,
did
no.
anything affect his first
No,
game?
so he had a tight neck, so he was fine. I think one of the big things that hurt us too was we had two starting safeties out. In this kind of game, those big guys, Lou Fry and Javier, I mean, they're big guys who, can come down and fill. I mean, it's a safeties game. I mean, when you play, your safeties have to, and so we were a little thin there because we had 2 starting safeties sitting out. But I think that hurt us a little bit.
Could Chroma just not quite get back by today?
Yeah, we thought it was, a lot less than it was. Probably 48 more hours, he'd have been fine. But I think it was one of those things where you had to be in. That's one of the reasons why, Javier, was back there doing all this stuff, but he wasn't getting into practice and wasn't really practicing. And it's really, this is a tough defense. There's a tough offense to defend if you haven't gone out there, been going full speed. Just to see it on cards and kind of walkthroughs, I mean, you have to live at full speed. And that's the biggest danger when you play these guys, is when they come out, it's that first drive or two that, can you kind of match the speed that, your service team has been giving you. Those guys do their best, but they're not these guys. They're just different.
So you dressed them and they just weren't
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, they were like emergency sort of situations. I think, again, if we had another day or 2, they both would be able to play, but that did make me a little nervous because we were a little thin at the safety position. And if you look at their body types, they're the kind of body types that you want, fill in those alleys, because, again, the big physical kids. This is a perfect game for Javier, perfect game for him. Unfortunately, we didn't have it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.